Well, good morning, guys. It is a Friday off for me, uh, so my puppy's chilling in the back there before I leave. I'm gonna go run some errands. Why don't you guys come along with me? Let's go. So I am on the way to go grab some dog food this morning because, well, I forgot to do it yesterday. So gotta get the pups fed. But I filmed my first YouTube video yesterday as like a little intro thing. Just to do the first video right and get it out there. And what I found through that process was like, I filmed this video the first time on a whim, much like this. Flipped the phone on and did this kind of thing. And just like one take, kind of do it thing. And it was really organic. And it was kind of cool. But there was like 18 wheelers honking and stuff like that. And so it was, honestly, it was terrible. And so I started playing this comparison game in my head. Later that afternoon, I went and set up like a faux set and shot it, and I had lights and things going on in my worship center and that sort of thing, and in front of my soundboard, and tried to make it look all cool, whatever. And I mean, it was fine and all, but like then the focus came out blurry, and I shot it like 3 times trying to get it right between the light and the focal point. I couldn't get things the way I wanted them to be. And I began playing this comparison game like, well, if so and so's early videos were this good, well then mine have to be like at least that, and blah blah blah. And that's just not the reality, man. I mean, it's really not. If we all played the comparison game with everything we do, or our hobbies, our endeavors, whatever it is, we're never going to find contentment. And scripture tells us that we are to be content, right? Be content in what we have. Not complacent, but content. Yeah, so more in a second on the first YouTube video. Be right back. Right, so, dog food's expensive. Yesterday, which is the second day of filming, right? Okay, I'm not going to play this comparison game anymore. I actually have a great friend who's a professional videographer and photographer, and he's like, hey, I know you're struggling with the whole light thing. I've got some old lights. They're not super fancy, but they're yours if you want them. So he gave me like 2 soft boxes and some lights, a bag full of goodies kind of thing for filming and the YouTube thing, and it was super cool. And so popped up a couple of lights on our stage, and just threw some wash lights on in the background. And then I found myself taking like 7-8 cuts to try to get it right. But my wife showed up and brought me lunch, and afterwards she helped me film the last cut, and it came out great. So yeah, all right, on to the next one. Good girl. Eat. Puppies are fed. All right, it is a few hours later. I'm starving, so let's go get some lunch. So we are gonna go get some lunch. By we, I mean I, because I don't know when you're watching this, and I don't know if it's breakfast time or lunchtime or what have you. But I don't know if you guys are sleeping on this or not. Panera Bread macaroni and cheese. Dude, it is the best fast food macaroni and cheese out there. And you get a chunk of bread. So, like I said, holding up to their end of the deal their name. I'm going to go grab some lunch and then go over to the church campus and take care of just a couple little things. Our youth band resumes their rehearsals this coming Monday. So I just need to go and make sure that the system in that venue is up to snuff and they're ready to go for them. Gonna be doing a few changes in that room over the next several weeks. Not big, not like renovation wise, but we have, for whatever reason, quite a bit of like RF interference at our venue. I know what part of it is. We have 3 different venues that are all using 3 different frequency bands that overlap each other, and there's only one that I can actually sort with like ease. Uh, Obviously, I can sort the others with charts and frequencies, but it's still not, perfect. So this past week, I did a scan of the worship center with wireless workbench because we're using ULX systems there, ULXD systems, which is awesome. My in-ear systems down there are PSM 900s, and looking back, I probably should have just spent a little more money and get the 1000s because I could network those and I could actually run that scan simultaneously, and wireless workbench would auto assign the best frequencies to all 16 of those devices without me having to think about it. But we were trying to be good stewards of money and make sure that the investments we were making were wise and that we were getting good equipment that was quality and going to last, but also not break the bank. We saved a few $100s a unit and went with the PSM 900s, and we got a fantastic deal with our rep at the time, which was awesome. But looking back, that knowing now the RF issues that we have, I kind of wish I would have just done a little more research and gone with the PSM 1000 units. But altogether, I mean, we still have a fantastic system down there. The 900s, I can still, scan out and do the thing pretty easily. But the other issue falls with our other 2 venues. So we have 2 worship venues upstairs. One, we have a Hispanic ministry that they actually hold services every Sunday, but they're in Spanish, which has been awesome. We've seen a lot of growth up there in the last 2 years. But they are using like Shure BLX systems, and they run like 5 or 6 microphones at a time on a Sunday. Then, literally 60 feet away, our other venue is our youth space, and they're using the older Shure SLX system, not the current SLXD system, but the older SLX system, which honestly, rock solid system. These were units that had been bought for different ministries around our campus. So, like, the children's ministry had 2, and then the preteen ministry had like 4. Something kind of weird like that. No, a random combination of handhelds and belt packs. And they weren't using them. And I was digging and cleaning up some stuff, and I found all these. I'm like, hey, can we use these? So we started using them for our youth venue upstairs, which is phenomenal. It made things so easy. But now with 3 venues on wireless and some other wireless things going on our property and across the street, like 250 yards away, we've started making efforts to reduce our RF that can't be networked, that can't be controlled that fast. So that, on a Sunday morning during our 11 o'clock service, when our worship team is going downstairs and the Hispanic worship team is going upstairs and our youth pastor is teaching in the youth space, we don't have intermodulation and we don't have frequency issues. So that's kind of where we're at. I've been rambling on for a while now, and I'm getting hungrier, so I'm going to go in and get some food. I'll see you guys in a minute. So, why this random vlog, right? Like, this is only like the 2nd or 3rd video on the channel. Why a Friday vlog doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Well, to be honest, it's practice for me. I don't have any experience doing this yet. So, like you can see, I'm looking over here at me in the camera instead of looking at you guys in the camera. But honestly, the big reason is just for me to get some practice and get some time, kind of figure out how this works and what works for me. How to be authentic and share my real personality with you guys, and not be, some fake YouTube vlogger kind of situation. But I told you guys this is going to be like some worship content and technology content and vlog content with some interviews and things like that. That's exactly what it's going to be. But I'm going to figure out this YouTube thing, right? And so that this is the time to do it, right? Not wait till you've got this giant following and you try something new and you face plant because you've created expectations that are so high that you can't meet them on something new. And so that's really what I'm doing. So, like I said, this afternoon we're going to go and check out the youth space and look at some stuff there, and then some news I can tell you guys about. I have been cleared to hire an intern for the worship technology department. We are not a big department. We are me. I am the worship technology department, and I'm only part-time. So I started with FBC just as obviously attending, and started playing on their worship team on Sunday mornings. I was the lead guitar player for like 2 years straight. But not me switching off to somebody else, just me. Like, it was a lot. But I was really grateful for it because it really, really made me like crack down and hone my chops. And it was an interesting journey because at the same time, and I still do, I play with a classic country band. So, and I'd been playing country guitar a lot longer than I'm playing worship guitar. So the country guitar playing gave me a lot of knowledge that made the worship playing easier, but being a worship guitar player made me a better country player, which is an interesting dynamic that we can dig into some other time. Overall, that 2 years was very rewarding. A lot of blessing through that, which was awesome. But it led to becoming a resident pastor of worship for my home church. God placed a calling to ministry on my life and told me that I was to share the gospel with as many people as I could, and that you wanted me to do it within this church. You wanted me to make disciples. You wanted me to create avenues for believers to worship, and I took that calling very seriously. While I'm sitting in here with a bowl full of mac and cheese, I'll get back to you guys in a minute. Alright, well, I didn't B-roll that bag of cheese for you with last anyways, so I just took care of it so you didn't have to worry about it. But that is definitely a once every now and then kind of treat, because boy is that rich. But right now, we are going to the car wash, because as I was walking out of Panera Bread a minute ago, I noticed on the back of my car is a spider web, and he caught him some lunch. So we're gonna go to the car wash. The thing's filthy anyways. But see you in a minute. So, I've got news. Just came out of the car wash, and my wife called and said, hey, I need you to get the spare key to my car and come meet me. And I thought, oh no. But actually, so back it up a minute. My wife is changing jobs today. Today is her last day at her previous job, but also her first day at her new job. She is going to work for a school district as a paraprofessional. She's pursuing a teacher certification, and so she wanted to start working in a school district. So she did the thing, she applied and got the interview and got the job. So as she was leaving today, her now former job, she was greeted with goodbye cards and thank you cards, and they got her a big box of cookies from a really, really awesome bakery over here. She's about to go into training for her new job and doesn't want to sit out and eat. So you guys go with me that way, and we're gonna go pick that stuff up so that it doesn't melt in this Texas heat. Let's go. I have a car at the box of goods. Well, she wasn't kidding. It's not just cookies. She got cookies and pastries and muffins and all sorts of baked goods. We're gonna have breakfast for the next 3 days. But hey, I'm all about it. Now we are we're actually in a neighboring town. We're over about 15 minutes outside of Beaumont. So we're gonna head back to Beaumont and head to the church campus and go take a look at the youth space. See you there. As I'm driving to the church campus, I remember what we were discussing earlier and the reason I began telling you my journey with First Baptist Beaumont. I've been given the green light to hire an intern. We have 5 intern spots right now. I guess technically 4. One of our interns who graduated, I guess about a year ago now, got hired onto staff as a ministry assistant for our college ministry and is working alongside our college minister now. So, yeah, so 4, but we're gonna add a 5th intern spot. And their primary duties would essentially be assisting me and our media pastor on anything to do with worship technology. I think it'll go well. The person we have in mind that we're going to interview has shown interest in this and has enough space in his life to be able to dig in and do 10 hours a week or something like that. We're just a couple of minutes away from the church campus, and I'll take you up to our youth room and show you around. You can tell it is dark. Oof. And now it's not. So this is the landing. This is our newest youth space. It's actually the second one we've built on this campus. The first space we built for youth on this campus is actually behind me over there, that wall on the other side of it. It is now where our Hispanic ministry meets, because within about 5 years of being in this space, we outgrew the existing youth space. So in an effort to alleviate the stress of that and the growth we saw in the children's ministry, we built this wing. So this is the second floor of this wing. Below me is the obviously first floor with a handful of additional children's classrooms. So we have some leftover stuff from camp we need to get put away today, and get this space set back up for youth rehearsal starting on Monday night. Let's do it. Alright, so you just saw me move faster than I ever have in my entire life. But that is all I'm going to do here for today. Just get the stage picked up. I need to run a couple of wired mics. You know, I mentioned earlier we have the RF issues, right? In an effort to alleviate some of that pressure with interference and intermodulation, things like that, I pulled all but 3 of the wireless units, the SLX units we were using up here in the youth space. And that is because we do not have antenna combiners and antenna distros for this space. I'll do more of an in-depth tour video kind of thing later on of this system, but essentially what we are looking at is a Soundcraft SI Impact and then just these few units right here. But what you don't see is what I mentioned a while ago, which is those antenna combiners and distros. And so what that means is that there was an antenna farm back there, which I'm not a big fan of. It's not proper setup and procedure, but it's all we had at the time. We don't have a very large stage box in the back for that rig, so we can't use all the stage inputs, and the configuration of the band at the time meant that I was using all of them on stage. We had 3 guitar players, a bass player, of course the drum set back there, that's mic'd individually except for there's no overheads because this room is so small, completely unnecessary. And then a keys rig that at the time we were running stereo, which we are no longer. And then there's our track rig, which is just 2 channel. We run clicking one side and tracking the other. It was a lot of channel count for a youth praise team. So we went wireless, which meant we could run with those units that I had pulled together from other ministries in the church. We could run 3 handheld microphones for the band, for singers, an acoustic belt pack, a bass belt pack, a belt pack for our pastor, our student pastor, and then have a backup if we needed that. And it opened up a ton of channel count on the stage, which was really cool, except that now we're dealing with this RF issue. So the Methodist church across the street is using similar equipment in the same frequency bands that we are, because those are the bands that are appropriate for this area. And so, we're left to deal with the situation. And, I have friends over there. I reached out and talked to them, and they said the same thing. They deal with the same interference from those frequency bands. So, yeah, all in all, that means I've got to run some wired mics and a couple extra lines on stage. But it'll be fun. We've got the channel count for it at this point. We've pulled the unnecessary stuff, and yeah. But I'll do that on Monday. I just wanted to come up and get the stage cleaned up this week, because our Sunday morning youth Bible studies begin again this coming Sunday, and so I wanted there to be plenty of room on stage for what they needed to do, as well as I just wanted it to be clean, because presentation goes a long way. Well, I'm gonna call it quits for today. Thanks for coming with me. I will see you guys real soon. That is a giant horsefly that just lighted up my windshield. Glasses are crooked. Of course they are. Glasses aren't crooked. My ears are, right? I'm really distracted by this pigeon out here. He's just bouncing around in a circle. There's no food. There's no nothing. It's the middle of the drive, and he's just bouncing around in a circle. Happy as a lark. Let me take you upstairs and show you our youth space. Pretty sure I just walked through a spider web. Lego.